Assalamualaikum, good morning everyone. Sorry, kok good morning? Tadi aku juga good morning. Jadi nggak jam ini Pak ya. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon everyone. Welcome to today's book review presentation. My name is Marsha Rali and I will be your master of ceremony today. We will listen to a book review presented by Hegel who will review the novel The Fourth Political Theory, and the session will be evaluated by our respected judges. And thank you for being here today. Now, before we begin, I would like to invite our moderator to guide today's session. Please welcome Gloria, Veronica, Rengkung.
Okay, thank you so much, Marsha. Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gloria, Veronica, and I will be moderating today the presentation. Our presenter today is Hegel Philosophy. Is that right? Yeah.
Right.
Who will deliver a structured review of the fourth political theory. Wow, it's about the political.
Yes.
So the presentation will be followed by comments and evaluations from our fellow readers. And without further delay, invite our presenter to begin to presentations.
Okay,
Welcome.
Right. So first of all, a little correction. It's not a novel. It's a more of a political theory book, and it's the real thing. It's written by Russian philosopher and advisor to Vladimir Putin, the Russian president, Alexander Dugin. He also Dugin himself is a quite very interesting man, as he once a member of a national Bolshevik party in Russia, and now he's still a philosopher. And unfortunately, he does have a relative who unfortunately died during the special military operation in Ukraine conducted by Russia, by the Ukrainian forces. And regardless, let's dig into the book itself. It was written in 2012, published by Artos Academy or journal. I don't exactly remember the publisher, but it's Artos regardless. So what's the main premise of this book? Right. As the title may suggest, it's the fourth political theory that has been devised in this 21st centuries. So what you are being asking, what's the other third of the political theories in the world? As Alexander Dugin in this book described that the first political theory is liberalism, and then there's the second theory, Marxism or socialism, and the third political theory is fascism or national socialism. Depends on your perspectives. And Dugin in this book described that liberalism, the first political theory, marches and its progress and evolutions toward in history from the Enlightenment and then the French revolutions, and then eventually the Cold War and the subsequent defeat of communism and fascism during both in World War II and the Cold War specifically, or as Francis Fukuyama would say, the end of history. And yes, he did cite Fukuyama in this book. He's a great guy. Overall, he described that the modern world that we live in the 21st century, ruled by the Atlanticism, in other words, the Americans, represents the liberal world order, capitalism, globalism, modernity. He stated that we live in this domination of hegemony by the Americans. The Atlanticist power with their modernity, liberalism and progressivism, destroying a lot of cultures, traditions, and so forth. Because just to I knew here, Alexander Dugin himself is influenced by many great intellectuals like Julius Evola, an esoteric reactionary thinker, Carl Schmitt, Jordan Jers, controversial, but he is a great guy, especially on his political theories. And then he also influenced by like Wayne and Alain de Benoit, he's a close friend of his, and so forth. So obviously, Dugin perspective, which I also agree, is basing on reactionarism, or in his words, conservative revolutionarism. Meaning, Dugin wants to a revolt against the modern world, against this liberal world order, and establishing a conservative world order, a conservative revolutionary society that seeks to destroy modernity and liberalism, which I hope wholeheartedly endorse, by the way. And then, not only that, this book also elaborate on how this fourth political theory works, because in his words alone, he's suggesting that that the fourth political theory is a evolution of liberalism, Marxism, and fascism. While he did explicitly say that the fourth political theory should oppose all three of them, but he did say that it's open for interpretation, which means that I and you, all of you as a reader, can interpret his writings as your own, as long as it stays the core messages. Like, for example, while Dugin present that liberalism is a devil and it must be destroyed at all costs. But I argue that not all liberals are the devils. It's the progressive modernists are the devils, and we should destroy the modernists and so forth. And by that, I accept some form of liberalism, Marxism, and fascism alike, as long as it destroys the core tenets of progressivism, if you get what I mean. And not only that, since Alexander Dugin is also a prominent thinker in Russian geopolitics, to the point that he indirectly influenced many Russian foreign policies, like the invasion of Crimea and subsequently the Ukraine, Georgia, and so forth. By which he explains this as a main sword and shield against the advantages liberal world order by the Americans are Eurasianism. And what is Eurasianism? You might ask. Eurasianism is a political thought not new to Russia and the world itself, as it once crafted out since the Tsarist days in Russia during the 19th centuries. Especially during the Soviet days, it was represented, it was created by Yev Gumilov and so forth. Dugin had this great tradition of intellectualism towards Russia, and I also adopted this Eurasianism on the Indonesian context. So, I believe that's the gross summary and the entire book of this great by Tavares Dugin, that's correct for Russians. So overall, I believe this book is a 10 out of 10. I would highly recommend for those who involved or aspiring to be involved in Indonesian politics or politics in general, like I do, to read this, as this gives you a very insightful and very well thought views and philosophies, especially in this modern world where liberalism is our enemy. Right. I believe that's all. Any of you want to ask?
Okay, before the question, it's so many things that we have to know about the theory that about the battle between the three ideas is liberalism, the individual, Marxism, the class, and the fascists, the states of
The fascists, the fascists. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Hegel. So, for the clear and structured presentation, now we'll move to the evaluations and commentations from our fellow readers. Any questions?
Hello, my name is Rengkung and I want to ask you, what is the best, the ideology, what you say, between uh, communism, liberalism, and fascism? Fascism, no capitalist?
No.
Oh,
There's three ideologies.
fascist, fascist.
Yeah.
What is the best in your fashion, in your take?
Outside the fourth political theory,
Yeah.
that the
What is the best?
in my opinion, all these ideologies will have its own merits, but I prefer the fourth political theory. I consider myself as well, Tabar Shizugin, Mr. Dugin himself, consider ourselves as conservative revolutionaries. Now, what is a conservative revolutionary? The conservative revolutionary are a group, are a tradition of intellectualism that brought in Germany during the aftermath of the First World War, where Germany lost the First World War against the Entente or the Allies, where there's this group of intellectuals from the German right wing, the conservatives like Oswald Spengler, Carl Schmitt, and Jünger, and so forth, where they devise a conservative yet very revolutionary thoughts that the best way for Germany and eventually, in the essence, the entire world to liberate itself from both capitalism and from capitalism and Marxism, is to create some sort of a third political theory. Mind you, when this whole conservative revolution thing, it was considered the third political powers there, where they will fought tooth and nail against Marxism and capitalism. Now, when fascism arose during the 1920s and 30s, there's obviously some splinters, like some are more sympathetic to the fascists and some are against it, like Oswald Spengler, who opposed Nazism, and he's a conservative revolutionary. And that's where the fourth political theory came from these conservative revolutionaries. And it evolved to the French New Right under Alain de Benoit, and then the aforementioned Alexander Dugin, and in Indonesia, as far as I'm concerned, who actually represent this views is only me so far. So if I have to answer your questions, I would say out of this political theory, I say the fourth political theory, the conservative revolutionaries.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much for the questions. Any questions for Hegel? Okay, I think it is enough for the questions. Thank you for our fellow readers to hear our friends Hegel Lisinski with the political theory. Okay, I return the session to our MC.
Okay, thank you, Gloria. So, thank you to our presenter, Hegel Kaczynski, and our moderator, Gloria Veronica, and especially our audience for today's review book session. And have a great day, everyone.